Hi, my name is Jim Laskowski. My voice is my passport? Verify me. Or rather, my name is Jim Laskowski. Directors Club is my podcast, and after about a 3-month break, I am back with something very special here. Get out your Scrabble tiles, a discreet unmarked van, and your 49ers cap, because this is a bonus episode, and that is no longer a secret. As much as I would have loved to have assembled maybe an entire team of hackers and wizards to join me, I managed to ask one of my dear friends and favorite Chicago film critics, the host of Movie Madness, the co-host of The Friendship Dilemma, and an all-around true blue cinephile, the one and only Erik Childress. Welcome back, man.
Thank you, man, for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're here to discuss and provide another live commentary track. We did this in the past for The Last Starfighter and Cloak and Dagger too, right? If memory serves? Yes.
Yep.
So kind of veering away from the video game theme a little bit, but
still in the tech world.
Yes, exactly. And courtesy of the same writing team of War Games.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Like, I was looking at, their filmography, and it's true of the director. Not a whole lot to their credit. A lot of producing, but certainly it's just interesting to see. I don't want to say they just never, successfully collaborated again after a certain period of time. But it's wild to think like it did take them a long time to complete this script for Sneakers after doing War Games.
Mm-hmm.
But,
go
ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about, because, this is a screenplay. We'll get into this, that goes back, even, pre-War Games. For it, which I'll talk about it a little bit at the beginning here. But it's just, there's I hope there's a lot to talk about. I think there is between the two of us. So...
Yeah, and again, I was listening to the commentary between the writers and the director, and they find themselves so wrapped up in the movie that sometimes they don't talk, which I always find that funny.
We're going to try to avoid, because those the commentaries that I hate are the ones where people start, I don't mind if they're laughing,
right.
I enjoy a good Kurt Russell, John Carpenter commentary, but, I don't like dead air during the commentary, so we'll try to keep that... avoid that as much as possible.
So right after a film like The Conversation and before Enemy of the State and a couple of years before Hackers, there was this little movie called Sneakers. And, instead of just doing like a big preamble and going, hey, what was your first time and your first experience? We're going to do that in the actual film. So I just want to get things rolling here because it is a 2-hour film, and we're just excited. I am very excited to hear what Erik has to say, because unfortunately I did miss when you hosted a screening of this, and God, I would have loved to have been there for that, because it's a movie that I adore and haven't seen on the big screen. But at the same time, it's had a nice cult following behind it. And even upon doing more research, I was surprised to read and find some middling reviews. And even, I'll talk a little bit about my partner's impressions of the film. It's just because it wasn't necessarily like a full-blown negative reaction. She's like, I've seen this kind of stuff before. It wasn't anything that blew her mind. But I also, brought to her attention that I don't want to say like, a lot of the movies that I end up doing commentary tracks for are fueled by, like, I've seen this 30 times, or I have nostalgia for it, or it was a connection that I had with my dad and all that. So there's a lot of reasons why now, watching it today, I can go, maybe you can critique this, critique that, but I can't. It's just not in my DNA.
Well, hopefully along our current rewatch of this, we will discover exactly why this one stands apart from a lot of the movies that she might have been thinking that she's seen before.
Yeah, I agree. So everybody, let's do this. If everybody can get out their copy and pause 2 seconds in, the second you see the light peering around the earth for the Universal logo, hit pause. That way you can sync up your copy of Sneakers with us. I will count us down, And then about 2 seconds in, you're going to hear two huge fans of this really special film and about what it means to us. So sync up your copy right now. And I will count us down from 3. You hit play, and then you're going to join us on this cinematic journey. Or you can just simply treat this as a podcast and listen along. I know folks just do that without even watching the movie, especially if they're very familiar with the movie and they've watched it 30 times like I have. So that's an option as well. But here we go, everybody. I'm going to count you down right now. 3, 2, 1, play. All right. So where to begin with Sneakers? Obviously, I'm curious about your first experience watching it and what you thought.
My first experience is one of the more memorable experiences I had, just because it was a fluke. Honestly, we were two friends, two coworkers that I worked with at my first job, a video store. These credits are lovely.
Oh yeah. The anagrams, we love them.
A little puzzles, just a little get your neurons going right at the beginning here. Try to put this together, a few laughs, but no, we were going to see a comedy show. Actually, the comedian Jake Johansson was in town and doing a little comedy club. I think Naperville or Aurora, something like that, Chicago, outside of Chicago, and I was only 17 at the time, and that didn't stop me before from seeing actually Bill Hicks live in person.
Wow.
Yeah, that was that's a whole other story. But
then you immediately went and did mushrooms right after, because
I did not. I did not. But I couldn't get in. They would not let me in because I wasn't 18, and this was a smaller comedy club. It was in the suburbs, not the city. And I was completely bummed because I basically blew the evening for my two friends and coworkers, and they just kind of tried to cheer me up. Oh, there's the clock tower, by the way.
Yeah, that courthouse looks quite familiar. I don't know where I've seen it before.
A little snowy right now. Yeah, but pretty. If you're paying attention, it's a Universal movie. That kind of
shot on the same lot.
Yeah. So anyway, so we ended up there. They were sort of like, I was completely bummed out. They're just like, well, we'll just go see a movie. Let's let make the evening, throw it away. And it was opening night of this movie Sneakers, and we went to the Woodfield 1 and 2, the big theater, and watched this movie. And man, it was like the best, like, breath of fresh air, surprise. We weren't expecting a whole lot out of it, but we walked out so enthusiastic after watching it. Like, that movie did it.
Did you think you were going into a movie about shoes?
I did not. No.
Okay,
I knew at least a little bit. That's the one thing
I'll say is that I'm not the biggest fan of the title. I don't know. It doesn't really say much about the movie, and I don't know if it was marketed very effectively. Just even the poster or the tagline.
It was marketed as a thriller too. I mean, I think that's the thing that really surprises, is that we were not expecting it to be as funny and as lighthearted as it was. I mean, it certainly delivers as far as the thriller is concerned. But I do have to say right off the top here that the casting of these two actors, as young Redford and young Kingsley, is like some of the best young casting I have ever seen in a movie. Ever.
I completely agree. I know,
like, it's up there with like the young Leota and Pesci from Goodfellas. I mean, that's a whole other topic to think of this, but like, I mean, you watch this and you're just like, my God, where do they find these guys? And
you know who helped consult them on the little sleight of hand, of course, was the great Ricky Jay. He stopped by and helped them out with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, James Horner's score, everybody. One of my all-time favorites, and it gets stuck in my head. And now that I've watched this a couple of times in prep for this, I'm like, the saxophonist or the hope and the oboe, like Branford Marsalis.
The assist. I mean, it's the Marsalis work in this movie is what always stands out to me. I mean, Horner's. I mean, you could recognize Horner's score because he does has tend to recycle his stuff over the years. From before this and even after this. But not that it's not enjoyable. But it's Marcellus's that jazzy feel
Yeah.
that you got. It just kind of just it's like a warm bath in a way watching this movie, and you just kind of like sit back and just yeah, it's wonderful. This is a great little opening here, establishing these two characters and how it'll eventually come back and haunt the Martin Bryce character. This
Yeah.
is, I mean, you think about this, like, you think about friends in your life, like, if you were in this situation, these are two basically guys that are, mucking with the system, if you will, through hacking, at a very early age in the late 1960s. Uh, Idealists, want to change the world. They talk about, and one of them, gets arrested and well, so we assume dies in prison. Uh, and the other one goes on the run for the rest of his life.
And now we begin the very conversation like intrigue here, where it's the thing I love about this movie, especially watching it again and again recently. I was just kind of like, there's a lot of just misdirection thrown at you throughout, where it sets up an expectation and then it turns out to be something completely different.
Yeah.
And even here, and you're talking about like the fact that this was marketed more as a thriller, and you're expecting the thrills, and it does bring that, but the camaraderie between all these guys in this contained environment is just so incredibly infectious. I mean, I want to hang out with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're nerds, and they totally endear themselves to you and to the audience, and they're all distinctive. That's the thing I think I really appreciate too, is like, it's not a case of someone like Kevin Smith writing where almost every character speaks the same language. Everybody here is very different, and I love that.
Yeah, they're defined by their traits.
Yeah.
And you might say that they each have one specific trait. Like Aykroyd is obviously the conspiracy guy, and Kreese has got a CIA background to him. But again, just like the humor immediately right off the bat here, they're laying it on that these guys are they're a great team. They're comfortable with each other, but they do kind of get on each other's nerves a little bit too. At least the Aykroyd character certainly does. Uh, and here's the funny thing: like all this whole team, and you could throw in Mary McDonnell, who will be introduced to later. All of these actors, with the exception of one at the time, Oscar nominees.
Oh, that's
Or,
right.
or winners. Some of them obviously. Redford had won, and Kingsley had won. Poitier obviously had won, but only one person, and that person would eventually get a nomination many years later, and that would be
Yeah.
David Strathairn.
Oh, yeah, and it's pretty wild too. I kind of randomly on a day off threw on Matewan because I hadn't seen that in a long time, and I was just curious about revisiting it since Criterion put it out fairly recently. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like so many people from Sneakers in this. Well, three main ones for sure.
Here's a little blackface gag for you.
Yeah. Oh, the great River Phoenix, who was just coming off of My Own Private Idaho, and kind of like, since that movie really got to him, and it affected him deeply, and he was so like emotionally involved in every aspect of that story, he actively sought out something lighter for him to do. And I'm kind of glad. It's nice to just see him having fun, and it's similar with Redford too, because like Sharon, my partner, was like, I don't know about Redford. He just always seems so smug, and I have a hard time, getting on board with him because like he just comes across that way, and I was kind of like, but he just tripped and fell. He's not Mr. Confident throughout this whole movie.
No, there's a great balance that he brings. Like Redford is so good at for lack of a better term, light comedy.
Yeah.
There's just moments throughout this movie where it's just like north of ridiculous a little bit. Like you establish a character like that by having him trip over the thing, and that's kind of a too old for this shit kind of gag in a way. But it shows that these guys they're professionals and they know what they're doing. But they're not, immune from stupid mistakes and things. And Redford balances that throughout this movie because again, you'll see these moments of light comedy, but there are moments there where he has to turn on the intelligence. It has to be the idealist version of Redford that we've seen in movies over the years. We'll get that with what he sees with Ben Kingsley later.
Yeah, for sure. It's like 3 Days of the Condor is a buddy picture almost, and I think that's kind of what I love about it.
Yeah, and just to go back to that opening scene, I mean, Redford in 3 Days of the Condor, his character goes out for sandwiches and comes back to the massacre of his where he works, and here he goes out for pizza, and his best friend gets arrested.
Well, I just have this weird feeling that my money wasn't safe here anymore.
Yeah, and again, I just love the misdirect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it seems like they just pulled off like a little bank heist here, but then you see he goes up there and we find out exactly what this crew is up to. And there's he gets a real. It's a great little moment of writing, but it's just like the snidest remark he gets from the person who cuts his check in a moment here is just like wow, that was some unnecessary shade, I think.
Yeah.
Here we go. A little exposition here.
Make sure no one can break into their places.
It's a living.
Damn. Makes me think of the Jerry Seinfeld line, "You're a cashier." But
yeah.
Like, wow.
But there's coming up there is a little bit of an exposition dump, but it's not. I don't know. The way they handle it, I think, is appropriate given the situation that they find themselves in. But I just love that this movie starts out with them doing their job, and you get to know them through action and not just like, oh, let's explain everybody what they do and what they are. So that's just a great way to set up and kind of show people being good at their job, but also, like you mentioned, being imperfect.
Timothy Busfield going through some things right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was it's a little icky.
It's a little, yeah, it's more than that.
Unfortunate, yeah. I had to do a screening of Ferris Bueller for an author who wrote an entire book on Ferris Bueller, and I'm just like, all right, somebody asked a question about Jeffrey Jones and where his career went, and we were like, oh, let's move on.
Yeah. Just remember that Timothy Busfield is playing a character, not playing Timothy Busfield in this movie.
Yes, exactly.
That's the way to look at it. I mean, since you went back, you mentioned like the start of this. I mean, the screenplay that you talked about in the intro, it was first brought to Lawrence Lasker and Walter Parks were working on war games,
right?
And they were doing research for it, and they discovered that there were like kid programmers who worked at IBM who were known as sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the title comes from. And they were at a computer convention in Chicago, and they started like asking around, about sneakers, and they're basically, for what we know now as black hatters. They were hackers basically, and that's where sort of like the impetus for the story began.
Yeah, and they were like these tiger teams of security consultants that would do what we see them do in the beginning, that just like test out security. And I guess like their initial idea or their pitch was like, like Dirty Dozen with computer hackers, and it's kind of, I don't know, like an interesting way to start thinking about how to, incorporate all of this. And it's just funny too. We missed like them talking about River Phoenix's character. It's a nice callback to War Games, right? Because he was caught hacking into the school's computer trying to change his grades.
Yeah.
So I like it when they do little Easter eggs like that for fans who, again, like at the time when this first came out, it's not like you can do research and figure all this stuff out the way we can today, but it's just kind of cute. I like that stuff.
Yeah. And this is 9 years after War Games. Not that people had forgotten about War Games at the time, but that was a huge movie when I was growing up. Just coming into my own, learning about computers, and also my fear of nuclear war. That was a pretty big movie when I was growing up. So you get a little exposition dump here to background on all the characters, and you do that through basically their intelligence dossiers.
Yeah. And that doesn't make my eyes roll. I think that's actually a great way to do it. I think it's a great way to introduce all these characters,
Mm-hmm. Here's a little Redford joke here.
Yep.
Talk to him. Yeah, that's
that wasn't in the original script. Maybe they put those posters there, but still, that was nice.
Yeah, this is before these came out before the 1992 election when Bill Clinton became president.
And folks, you should pay attention. I know it's an odd thing to think about, but pay attention to Timothy Busfield's hair and how it changes later on in the film. Because it was a deliberate decision on his part to have this kind of hairstyle for a representative of the government or the NSA to almost mirror the way Robert Redford looks, and then later on in the film when we find out who he really is, his hair is all slicked back just like Cosmo.
Yeah, it's true. We should draw more attention to Timothy Busfield, by the way, as we go along, just for people who are already uncomfortable.
The only thing I'll bring up in regards to his character.
No, it's a great little point there.
We don't know what CTEC stands for.
The good cop, bad cop routine they got going here. This is the actor Eddie Jones,
right?
Who is he went after Dan Aykroyd in another movie some years ago. Same year's War Games. Actually, he's the cop in Trading Places that tells him to take off his clothes.
Yeah, that's right. Of course.
The FBI can't work for us without approval from a congressional oversight committee. We don't have the time. So why me? Frankly, because we're frankly.
Yeah, and also what you were talking about earlier, just about having these ideals when you're younger. Watching it now, it really highlights this idea of a movie about aging to some degree, and how someone like Redford, even in this profession, is trying to continue his ideals, but also the outside world can corrupt it through influence, the government, organized crime, or broken relationships, or just a past that you can't escape from entirely. And here it's about to kind of bite him in the ass in a way, to where he's obligated to do this job.
Yeah, we're just coming off a year where one of the best movies. For both of us, the best movie of last year was One Battle After Another.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, which is a movie all about the idealism of your youth and trying to change the world, and then have a kid, and you grow up, and you have to kind of leave that behind, but the past is not going to let that happen for you. And I bet PTA is a fan of this movie.
I would imagine so. He's an insane fan, as well he should be, of Midnight Run too. So I think those types of movies, they're just so rewatchable, and they speak to our generation, I think, and certainly PTA as well. They're just good movies with good characters, and it doesn't skimp on the entertainment, it doesn't skimp on the action or just the set pieces or getting you really involved in a major way. That's what I really love about this film in particular too, is that I know that someone like Ebert really emphasized that this is thin, or not everything comes together in a satisfying way or something, but to me it's the complete opposite experience. And I felt that when I first watched this. My dad and I rented this from the video store just based on the cast, not knowing a whole lot about it. I would assume I must have seen the Siskel and Ebert review of it, and maybe I kind of dismissed it and didn't make it a priority until we saw it at the video store, rented it, took it home, and it became one of those movies, like we've called before, a remote dropper, where if it was on cable, my dad and I would watch it at any point in the film and just get wrapped up in it, time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, it is an immensely rewatchable film. And I know Ebert, he gave it a modest like 2.5 star review.
Yeah.
Cisco gave it a thumbs up. Uh, but as we're gonna see here, this movie just builds and builds and builds, and it's hard for me to think of somebody watching this and thinking that is thin. If anything, if you think you've seen it before, and maybe you've seen tens and hundreds of movies like this with teams and stuff like that, that maybe that could just be you're not interested in some of the things that they're doing. I mean, they got a MacGuffin, they got their team,
Mm-hmm.
they have to go after the MacGuffin, and they find new ways to accentuate how they have to pull off this hype. I mean, this is the first like 45 minutes of this movie, maybe even the first hour of it. You got to establish all these characters. You establish what I mean. They set you up with a sort of like an initial heist, basically, in trying to get this black box that will eventually be called. And then they escalate it, and then it escalated some more, and then the team has to figure out how to pull off another heist and get themselves out of all of this, and they do it in such like every scene in like the second half of this movie is like an idea that I don't recall ever seen in a movie, at least done in the way that it is.
Yeah. Now that's a good point. And uh, one of the first movies that my dad really loved, and I think a lot of it had to do with the ending too, was The Natural. And the jacket that Robert Redford wears throughout most of this film is the exact same one. It's just one of those cute
which
trivia.
jacket is it? This jacket or
I don't think it's this one. I think it's it's almost like the Letterman like jacket that
the one that he wore when he pulled up to the bush side.
Yeah. It's that one.
That's interesting.
Sure. Yeah. He must have just kept it from The Natural and just decided to keep wearing it. Maybe because it looked good on him. Well, I mean, he's Redford, so I mean, just about anything is going to look good on him. Mary McDonnell, talk about her for a little bit. I mentioned John Sayles, so that's where she got
There's a little button at the end of that scene where, they set up this relationship between Redford and McDonald, and they've clearly had some sort of intimate relationship in the past. And they play it off like there's kind of disinterest there, but at the end he pulls a kind of a Macaulay Culkin like yes, a little moment there at the end, nice little thing. I've always been curious about this relationship because you mentioned the Friendship Dilemma podcast that I do with Morgan Geyer.
Oh yeah, there you go. This would be a good one.
I've thought about this relationship because I don't think that I always forget if they actually do have a kiss moment later in the movie, or if they don't. I know she kind of like nurses him back to health a little bit, tends to his wounds, but I don't think there's clearly there's something there, but they never. By the end, there's never an assumption that they're going to get together at all. So I think this actually would make a great fit for that podcast.
I think so too. I mean, obviously they were together at some point, romantically involved.
The first role for Donald Logue, by the way.
Yes, his screen debut here. Mm-hmm. Looking I don't know.
Looking like he should be a Die Hard.
Yeah. With the long hair and the white suit, and him standing in the background there with all that code and that text and that the equations.
Today I can in public come and learn your scientists.
And of course, you have to introduce a Russian consulate.
That's right.
So we suspect him as being involved at this time.
The great thing about movies is that Russia's villains will never go out of style.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Hello, Greg.
Yeah. Seemingly introduced as potentially an important character, but we'll find out that, like you said, it's sort of a misdirect here as well. And I like that, again, the dynamic that Redford and McConnell, they don't really want to talk to this guy. They don't like, but Redford just paws him off on McConnell, and she's like, "Oh, great, this guy."
And it makes me wonder, like, why does she know him too? Like, how involved has she been in with his, sneaks or whatever he's been a part of in the past? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a way to use a character, an ancillary character like that, to maybe make you think more about the relationship between Redford and McDonald. That how long have they been?
Yeah.
Were they together? That they knew this guy from back during basically the Cold War days, because this would
Mm-hmm.
be post Cold War here.
About the New World Order. I don't trust that guy.
Greg?
Oh, yeah. See, setting things up like that by just saying, I don't know if I trust this person. I don't know if I trust that person. And there's a lot of talk of trust throughout this movie. You won't know who to trust.
And here comes another Phil Alden Robinson staple from Field of Dreams.
Yes.
The book banner, Lee Garlington.
Can I call you?
I started to revisit, because I don't think I'd seen it since the theater, but I didn't get to finish it. The Sum of All Fears, which is, I remember thinking was good, but not great. And of course, when she popped up at one point, I was like, oh, I know her. I've seen her in several things.
She's also the villain in Cobra.
That's right.
One of the villains in Cobra.
Yes.
Not the main one, but yeah.
Yeah.
This...
Janet just got in the elevator.
Did you ever see, because I'm assuming you've seen it. I never got around to, I think it was Phil Alden Robinson's last film, The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, which I don't remember getting great reviews, so maybe that's why I steered clear of it.
That's the Robin Williams film.
Yeah.
But, I never did see that.
Yeah,
actually.
just because, again, like, it wasn't thought of as a good film, so I was just like,
Yeah,
So
when we talk about Phil Alden Robinson, we think that his directorial career was not it's not a huge resume,
Right.
as you can see. But when you go back to when Lasker and Parks brought this idea to Robinson way back in the day, this is like the early '80s. That Robinson asked them to develop the script, and Robinson went off and he was writing his own scripts at the time. He wrote All of Me,
Yes.
Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin, and he did an uncredited rewrite on Fletch.
Oh,
well.
wow. Yeah, it's a
So that's-
really all you have to do is look at his writing credits and kind of see peaks and valleys and ups and downs, and just kind of a varied career in terms of going from, in the same year, from Rhinestone to All of Me.
There you go. His directorial debut was in 1987 with a movie called In the Mood, which is the only movie of that era where I didn't want to throw Patrick Dempsey off the cliff, basically.
Understood. And a hard movie to find now?
I bet I could find it.
Yeah, I'm sure, but
Just
yeah. It's another I want to revisit again, because I know I borrowed it from Colin like many years ago, and I just never got around to revisiting.
No, it's not.
it.
It's a pretty enjoyable movie based on a true story of this maybe I don't know how it plays now. I mean, teenage Lotharios maybe that Patrick Dempsey played way too many of in that era that I never. This is well before he was known as McDreamy, so I never quite understood the Patrick Dempsey thing at this period. And then here's them on the job, and basically all being reduced to little boys. Basically, all of them are released to teenage boys. Peeping Toms, spying on this thing. I mean, it's River Phoenix reaction. Please let me look. And Sidney Poitier, grow up. And then he's like, let me take a look. Let me peek.
And I really do like that this particular line keeps getting repeated, and you don't think much of it at first. But of course, it's Whistler who's like, hey, wait a second. Listen. You don't have to look. Just listen.
Visiting professor from Czechoslovakia, senior research fellow in astrophysics. Bingo. C-type astronomy.
Yeah, this movie is well ahead of the day of Disclosure Day.
Indeed. I think at one point, I think it's during the party sequence, Dan Aykroyd brings up aliens, and I'm just laughing my ass off at that now.
Yeah. And again, here's what you were just saying there, that we're sort of keyed in as moviegoers as visual, right? As a visual medium, and as spies, we associate that with looking in on things that we're not supposed to be looking at, and we ignore the other sense that to listen is just as important. I mean, as spies eavesdrop and stuff like that, but here is just try to figure out someone's password, and they think they failed because they haven't been able to see the keyboard strokes necessary. And Whistler picks up on a very key point.
Whistler would be a huge podcast fan. I have a feeling because, there's this like people who love to listen. I know, there's, and I'm one of those, and certainly there's, I think, like, again, it's been inherent, and you can kind of go back to just even the work of Hitchcock as like highly emphasizing voyeurism as this ultimate cinematic theme, because that's exactly what the audience becomes. And I like that. I like it when it just comes up in even something like this, which again, marketed as like, oh, look at this great cast and you're going to have a great time and it's a thriller and everything. But still, there's more to it than just that. That's what I really appreciate about this movie.
Then, of course, here's another one of Aykroyd's mother's conspiracy theories about the Apollo moon landings being faked. It becomes like a who's who of conspiracy theories that are brought out throughout this movie. This is 9 months removed from JFK. This movie.
Oh,
came out,
yeah.
And well before Mel Gibson and conspiracy theory that have had a little bit of fun with all that stuff. But yeah, this is. And we look at it, we laugh at it. Obviously, we laugh at how ridiculous his conspiracy theories are, and then you think in the 25 years since this movie that some people really do believe that stuff, and some of those things have become mainstream in some respects. That's scary shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of Reddit threads, nowadays, and I don't know. It's just it's funny to think too. Sharon brought up the fact that I want to say this. Did this come out before or after the X-Files because of the Lone Gunman? Like that interplay.
TV show?
Yeah. There was the spinoff, and it's basically like, yes, Sneakers only with with the Lone Gunman, basically, just like having that camaraderie, that interaction, but also being all about conspiracy theories. And if you watch the pilot of the Lone Gunman, just watch that episode sometime and be completely freaked out by the fact that they talk about these planes crashing into the World Trade Center. And this episode came out in March of 2001. It is just so eerie and so weird.
Yeah, the X-Files actually premiered almost 1 year to the date of the release of this movie.
Wow.
And just to get sidetracked here for a moment, but here's a perfect example I'm talking about Redford light comedy.
Oh, this to me almost like summed up the movie in a way. Like,
Very much so.
It's like you think it's going to be this high tech. All right, let me figure out this code. Let me, get some ideas, and then no, I'm just going to kick it down.
Right. And they set up like you could kind of see the joke coming in a way. I think that joke's been done to death probably since this movie. Yeah. But just watching Redford, again, listening. We don't hear what's on the other end, but just inherently listening and just taking in the steps, so to speak, of how to break this door down or to get past this thing. And it's just all they told him to do was kick it. Yeah. And again,
and playing
another. And here's a perfect example of a scene that they set it up like it's going to be like a suspenseful scene, and it turns into a scene of pure comedy.
Yeah, and it showcases how good Redford is at this too. And this
all of them.
And this is mainly like Phil Alden Robinson himself. Like he wrote this scene independently of the other two writers, and they just loved it so much, and rightfully so. It's just it's really beautifully done. And again, like it's the Roxanne kind of dynamic of like listening into somebody else like feed them dialogue. I always like that. But way to go, Redford here.
This is great. Yeah.
Who do you think paid for your little love job to Mexico City?
Quick thinking.
Yeah.
Velma,
So when David Strathairn came out for Little Prayer, did he come out for Little Prayer?
No,
That's
for
right.
Chicago Critics Film Festival, we had him booked.
That's right.
And he ended up getting a job, a gig, an acting gig. And they wouldn't let him come. Basically.
That's right.
I don't know specifically what it is. I have some theories, but I don't know who basically told him he could, because he was booked. Everything was booked. He was coming. With Jane Levy was coming too, and it just didn't work out.
Darn it! I would have loved to have just brought this up.
But seriously, like, one of the nicest people I have ever dealt with, and having not met them, in trying to get someone to come to the film festival. You just see it in the emails I received from him. You could tell what just a mensch this guy.
Yeah,
is.
I can tell for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand myself. Here, look, I might lose my license for this. My client is vindictive, bitter.
Yeah, this is like a pretty lengthy scene when you think about it, in the middle of this movie, and it's just there to. It's done for comedy, but it's done to get them out of this building, to get them away from this this heist. He just pulled off a very simple heist. He just walks in the room and takes it. But gets caught by this woman that Janek is having an affair with.
And I was listening to the commentary from the director and the writers, and it's interesting because I always thought this, going back to when I first saw it, is like, so how did he just walk out of the building with the box? It just sort of. I love the cut. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great cut to the dance sequence coming up here, but at the same time, I was like, was it that easy to just smuggle that box out of there from this point forward? But they had a whole additional scene of him like putting it on a mail cart or a mail truck or something, and I don't think you needed that. And I think that was a wise choice, just to cut the fat out of the scene and sequence.
And also, you don't expect, a reference to giving head in a PG-13 movie.
No, you don't.
The MPAA, it's great that the MPAA let that one go, or maybe they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and of course having a memory of my dad laughing at that when I was younger and going, what?
I was old enough at the time too.
I think I knew. I knew
what that was.
Yeah.
Of course, there's one person here we don't see dance with.
Oh, really? Oh, Redford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There we go. That's Aykroyd in a nutshell right here. I think he came up with all this on his own, much like Tobolowsky did later on, which we'll talk about when we get to him.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Tragically Hip t-shirt, which is a Canadian band that he revered.
What's interesting that Dan Aykroyd, when he was offered the chance to do this movie, he wanted to play Cosmo.
Oh, interesting.
He wanted to play the Ben Kingsley role, and when they told him, like, well, Kingsley, we already reached out to Kingsley and he's interested, and he's like, oh well, hell, you got to go with him.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Aykroyd, he's can be kind of a weird guy, and he's definitely got a lot of thoughts on character work and stuff like that, and he was gonna play the Cosmo role. He said he had this character idea that he was gonna base him off of Jerry Garcia.
What?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
weird.
know if that meant the look or the fact that he's create songs. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Has Aykroyd ever played like a straight up villain? I just can't picture that. Maybe it's because...
Grosse Point Blank.
Okay, yeah. But still kind of a playful, fun villain of sorts. I don't know. It's
Well, apparently there was an early draft of the screenplay where Whistler and Mother owned a recording studio and recorded punk bands.
I missed that.
That was an early draft of the movie.
Wow. No, they made a lot of changes over a long period of time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like the ending is completely different, or at least, we'll get to it when we get to it. But still.
It's very tacked on. I mean, tacked on in a good way. It's a good change. But in many ways, you think of like Aykroyd's progression through his film career and whatnot. You see him getting closer and closer over the years to being like probably what it means to be Dan Aykroyd. You know, I mean, obviously he went through the Ghostbusters phase, and he's going through all of the spiritual, supernatural stuff. I like how Whistler just fills his drink here. He just completely just.
I just missed that.
I've always like he just to do this line, he just spills his drink there. Okay. By the way, scrunchy is a word.
Yeah, it's a thing that you tie your hair with, right? Like, I mean, but that was like introduced later, or maybe it was around this time that those came out.
I swore that I had. I mean, I do have sisters. I did have sisters at this time, but I still do. And I'm pretty sure that they were referred to as scrunchies, and you can spell them two ways. You can spell them with a Y or an IE. So that's I think Mary McDonald just her character just
well, her hair's so short, maybe she just wouldn't have had any use for a scrunchie then, so she probably didn't know what they were. They're such nerds. They're playing Scrabble. they're just hanging out and having a nice dinner party playing Scrabble. I think between this and the conversation, there was always this desire to own a giant loft where I can just walk around and have all this space to do whatever I want, or like set up different, you know, like this would be the music corner, this would be the podcast corner. This,
artists, tech people, they all have to have giant lofts. Artists, I don't know why you need a giant loft like that. You just need a lot of space to walk around and say, like, I don't know if this painting works. But the tech people, I completely understand. You got to set up a whole studio, and you have all this equipment, so.
Yeah, and then later on, they managed to do that in her apartment, which is kind of a feat in of itself. But
I always thought this was a weird thing that, like, he goes, "Well, C-Tech Astronomy doesn't mean anything." Well, there's probably a lot of company names that don't mean anything, and whether they're anagrams or not, it's
where does he get this epiphany from? You know, I don't know. That's a good question. There's, again, like I can understand having those questions watching this movie, but you kind of, when you're invested in it, you're kind of just going with it. You don't think about it as much. But
and this
that's
is a marvelously, it's a marvelously edited sequence too. Because you see these two different factors. The Whistler, trying to figure out, how to put this box together, and the way these two scenes these two moments are going to come together at roughly the same time. It's a wonderful bit of editing here.
Yeah.
Need anything, you guys?
I know originally he was trying to get an anagram from No More Secrets, but he just never could come up with anything. So that's why they went with Too Many Secrets. But I think you mainly hear No More Secrets, I think, more later in the film from Ben Kingsley and a couple other characters rather than Too Many Secrets.
How about my Socrates note?
No.
Nope.
I wonder what they're recording on that reel-to-reel, because it is on. I don't know if it's just there for production value, and give credit to the production designer too, because man, they did some great work just with this loft alone.
Got a PG-13 movie that's references to head and semen, by the way. Just point that out. I mean, I think that anytime you have like old school tech people, you have to have a reel-to-reel. It just shows that they have been.
They're old school. Yeah, exactly.
They're old school. Yeah, doesn't matter what's on it. It's just part of their milieu. That's also just a great reflective shot there of the computer in Whistler's glasses. It really kind of recalls. It recalls like Flash Gordon a little bit. It's a great look there.
Yeah, and that's why you put that in the trailer to sell people and get them interested. Like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, we don't know what this means, but it's numbers and digits and tech stuff.
And him just going, holy cow, look at that. Yeah. Again, we'll get to some, especially once we get to the Ben Kingsley character, how this turns out to be very prescient in some of the things that they're saying and conveying to the audience here, now more than ever. But
Too many secrets.
So now is it when he has that revelation when he's puts together what C-Tech astronomy means. Is he thinking of Cosmo in that moment, or like why is he thinking just too many secrets?
Well, because I think that this is something that this character has likely held with him since his days, his early days. That changing the world. I mean, it's what the movie starts in 1969, so Watergate hadn't even happened yet. All these a lot of things that Redford would go through in the 1970s as a political idealist hadn't happened yet. So I think just the idea that that's always in the back of it. I mean, clearly they show that he's got a mistrust of the government, right? That working with the NSA is not really on his radar. But hey, they need the money, so everyone's got to sell out a little bit to the man. But once you discover what this thing does, you see, an idealist like this will always see the worst potential for it, which they clearly do. And Potier, I mean, he's got moments of comedy in this movie, but he is the intensity driver of this thing, because he is the one that we're going to see him pull out a gun. A gold star. For you Mystery Science Theater fans out there, gold star. Yeah, that might drive down his tech guy's stock a little bit, but maybe that's all they could afford too. So it works. Sometimes you got to buy.
They didn't have a Commodore 64. I'm shocked.
Or an Apple IIc.
Yeah.
Okay, mother.
No, and interestingly enough, wasn't it a few years before this that Poitier and River Phoenix were in a movie together?
Yeah, they were in Little Nikita together.
That's right.
And that was like
another spy movie, kind of.
Anyways, another spy movie, a Russian spy movie. And when River Phoenix got the job for Sneakers, when he got the phone call that he was going to be in this movie. I think it was Robinson that might have called him. He heard Phoenix in the background on the phone talk to his mom, and he said, "Hey, Mom, guess who's going to play Crease?" And he was just so excited to work with Sidney Poitier.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be excited to work with these guys, man?
Seriously, like, why would you would sign on instantly with this cast? I mean, even if the screenplay wasn't as good as it is, I mean, the opportunity to work with a crew like this, this is. There have been so many team movies over the day, and there are a lot of movies that have very successfully pulled off the team dynamic or big cast and whatnot. And sometimes you see them all working together. Sometimes it's a team thing where you go well, it's a horror movie or a western. Like, how many of these people are going to die by the end of the movie? And yet this is 9 years before they finally got Ocean's 11 off the ground.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a precursor to that. I think again, this is intense stuff here too. I mean, Sidney Poitier basically saying that you can't leave, and drawing some suspicion onto her character, Liz's character.
Yeah, no, he makes perfect sense, and he's also looking to protect her as well. Like, it's and plus, just the way he delivers this line coming up is just classic Poitier. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, Sidney Poitier delivers this line perfectly.
There isn't a government on this planet that wouldn't kill us all for that.
Another trailer moment, right?
Yeah, certainly.
And again, another misdirect, because he says government, but it's not.
we're thinking this could be a grander conspiracy. This is like a Parallax View or Three Days of the Condor type situation. And it feels that way. Eventually, the government does get involved in this story, but I mean, this is personal game. This is a evil corporation. This is James Bond type stuff in a way that this another idealist is trying to get a personal gain out of this situation.
Yeah, when he's loading a gun, that could mean trouble. And then, of course, the delivery of Mary McDonnell's line here is just wonderful.
It's, yeah.
And there's a lot that can be said about what makes this kind of a cut above the rest, for me is really about how time takes away your ideals and your dreams and this hope that you could maybe fix or change the system even in small ways with money by like making sure it gets to the right people and not those in power. But then as we see, like, authorities will get involved, those in power will always want to take down those who want to make a difference, whether it's in this country with our healthcare or how wars are funded or even how technology itself becomes controlled by those with bigger bank accounts, especially now when it comes to AI. So that's something else I think about when I watch this movie and subsequent viewings over time. The solutions to a lot of the things they managed to go through are actually low tech, like, and old school, like we've talked about, where, he distracting the concierge with the delivery of Drano or kicking down the door or just like little things that don't necessarily involve technology in a major way. It's like kind of I don't want to make this comparison to being like, well, it's like CGI versus practical, but I don't know. I think there's something special about the fact that a lot of the things that they managed to do throughout this movie don't involve technology directly. It involves like walking slowly, or just doing practical things in like not necessarily in a MacGyver kind of fashion, but still, I think that says something. Oh, and we don't really see a gun here, right?
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask. I mean, the fact that Janek is dead means that they have, that they've killed this guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly not a coincidence, but I highly doubt that they're going to kill him in broad
daylight in front of everybody. Yeah,
with nobody else around. I mean, there's nobody else around, but there's people, there. If they would have just paid these people off and let them go, I mean, if they didn't know what this box was.
I always thought there's like a quick split second here where it looks like they're going to get up and go after him.
Well, I think at this point now they realize that they know something. So I think at this point it's a point that they have to take care of these guys.
Yeah.
Eventually that's I think I have a feeling that they might have just gotten paid. Yeah, like there. Yeah, I'd be out of there too.
Sure.
But I think that I mean, it doesn't get the check. Yeah. I mean, because they would have to hunt down all 7 of these people afterwards, and that's a lot. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
First, I mean, they're not. C-Tech Astronomy doesn't seem to be a very big organization that is full of assassins. So, killing Janek because he's obviously he's the one responsible for that. Phil Alden Robinson using like almost an identical shot here, the way that he pulls up to the place before with the flag and whatnot, so you know exactly where he's at.
And you see the Bush posters right again, yeah.
And again, kind of a perfect little misdirect that they took away my home, and he's of course just referring to the building. He was referring to the building. They're taking away my home. That's where he lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a feeling that they would have just paid these people off and let them go. But Potier's in the business, and he was probably on the other end of these situations in the past. So he's obviously a little more paranoid, a little more cautious, and is clearly, if they believe that the government is involved with this, that they are not past doing things like this.
And we don't know at this point in time that Cosmo is responsible for all of this, but I think, I do think Cosmo would eventually wanted to reconnect with his friend, so to speak, because it does seem like he had a strong connection with him.
And that is one of those unfortunate things that, you got to sell this movie. You got to put Kingsley, his name on the poster. You have to, you're establishing that Kingsley is going to reappear in this movie. He's in the trailer, obviously. And you watch that opening scene, that's clearly young Redford, and the character they keep referring to as Cosmo, well, he looks a lot like Ben Kingsley. So clearly that character is going to show up at some point. So it's not like the biggest reveal in the world. You know, if you're a savvy moviegoer, you know eventually he's going to show up.
I forgot to. Was that David Paymer who played the young Kingsley? It looks so much like him.
It looks like him, but it's not.
Oh wow! Yeah, I thought for sure it was. They probably shouldn't have had those waiters behind there because they probably would have seen the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a good glowing pool with mist above it. Oh,
yeah.
Nice reflective shot there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good place, too, to talk a little bit more about Redford and Kingsley. You know, how they started out, their characters start out on the same wavelength, but because of circumstances, they really do end up as very different people, representing, you know, kind of the good way to make money with what they do, what the sneakers do in the case of Redford. And then there's the nefarious way, with Kingsley's character having entered organized crime, not by choice, really, but by necessity in order to get out of prison and survive. And they both could have ended up partners, but they're just so different in how they see the world. Like, Redford's more of a pragmatic and realistic person who sees the reality that things are the way they are for a reason, and you can make a little dent, but maybe not a major one, especially since, you know, technology and those who control it are always in this position of power and wealth. And Kingsley's Cosmo is coming from this place of wanting to change the world, but from a very unrealistic standpoint, by thinking this black box is the answer and not thinking about the consequences.
You guys still keep tabs on all our agents. These are the ones we thought we could turn.
So how'd this movie fare at the box office, since you're an expert at this too? That's something else you can
We had financial trouble.
It was a
focus on a little
success.
bit.
This was a success. I mean, it was, you would refer to it, you know, as a modest success in many respects. I mean, it opened number one. It was number one for 2 weeks at the box office. It opened in early September, and it made opened like $10 million, made over $51 million. So I mean, that's 5 times its opening. Which, I mean, this is 1992, so that wasn't as uncommon as it is today for a movie to more than 5 times its opening and whatnot, especially if the word of mouth is good, which clearly was enough of this movie. And it made another a good match that number with international dollars. And
okay.
I mean, so a $23 million budget grossed over $100 million worldwide. So this was a success. I think not a lot of people refer to it like that because wasn't like a gigantic blockbuster that year, and people sort of, the way that it's been talked about over the years, like this is a movie that had to be rediscovered. It was discovered in 1992. People did go see this movie, but it does seem like one of those ones that you do have to introduce to people over the years. That's
interesting to me. Like, given the cast, and I mean, it's weird when I even listened to an episode of the Rewatchables, hearing them talk about, nobody talks about this movie. Nobody really thinks of this as an all-time classic. It's more of a sleeper hit or a cult classic or whatever. And I'm kind of like surprised by that, given, I mean, again, like, I'm coming at it from a place of like, well, this to me is a movie I've seen over and over again and have recommended to other people. And for the most part, most people will at least say, oh, I enjoyed my time watching that movie. Maybe they don't think of it as a, all-time classic or even something like Ghostbusters, of course, but it's, I feel strongly about it.
I may have spoken too soon about C-Tech Astronomy and their assassins, because really two more people are now dead.
Yeah, and of course you got to do the frame job here. Yeah, it's
too many secrets.
Yep.
Yeah.
And nice keeping this guy blurry for a little while, wondering who that is, and then of course he comes into frame and focus.
That's a hell of a hit on Redford.
Yes,
by the way. That's as far as like
he gets a couple of those.
He does, and it's a great again that pays off in a great way later on, thanks to Redford. And then here silent. Again, listening. People were, what are we? Where is he going?
Like everything gets paid. We've talked about this with Zemeckis. Like almost everything gets paid off, or everything has a purpose. Like you would think, like, why are we just in the back, in the trunk of the car with it, other than to show where he is? But like even in this shot, 3 Days of the Condor again, being in a trunk. No, but it's very much like, we're gonna understand why later we are hearing what he's hearing or experiencing what he's experiencing.
Right. And again, it's kind of a lengthy sequence too. I mean, people watching this go like, why don't they just cut to the, wherever they're going to take him? And here they're even stopping, and they're going to knock him out again.
Calling back to Cloak and Dagger too, because little Davy winds up in the trunk and gets hit. And now we get to discover who's behind all of this.
Yeah.
And the one consistent critique I came across throughout my research was, why did they give Ben Kingsley an American accent? It's so bad. It's like I only hear
Is it an American accent? I don't
know what it is.
What his accent is actually in this movie.
Disaster.
Yeah. It's is that like pseudo Bostonian? Like what is?
Yeah, that's what it's.
Where's it coming from? I mean, it's not even like a Forrest Gump thing where he like took on the accent of the guy, the young version of him played him, because I don't think that guy had the accent at all. Is this an accent he picked up in prison?
That could be. This is what happens when you hang out with the mafia. I don't know.
It's like part Boston, part Italian.
I'm willing to forgive it because it's Ben Kingsley. He's so good.
Hey, that's a choice. Marty.
Yep.
Marty. Hey, you remember it, right? And
of course.
That's more than you can say. Even if you don't buy into whatever accent he's doing, you kind of want to start doing that voice.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Years ago, yes, we could trust them not to go running to the FBI, or if they did, we could trust the FBI not to believe them today. Can't trust anybody.
Oh boy, can't trust anybody.
Yeah. And I'll talk a bit more about this, his backstory here. I'm going to talk more about Whistler in a little bit. There's some connection to characters that Whistler, David Strathairn's character, is based on that connect to this whole backstory of him, how he I'll get to that in a bit, a little tease for everyone.
Let us say good family man. Organized crime? Don't kid yourself. It's not that organized.
Good line.
Yep, absolutely.
Release from my unfortunate incarceration, and I begin to perform a variety of services. For starters, reorganize their entire financial operation.
I think it was George Carlin that said that if you really want to get the bad guys, go after the drug trade and whatnot, go after the bankers that hide their money.
Ooh.
And so, like this is exactly who George Carlin was talking about right here. Is the real smart guys who can organize the crime.
Yeah.
And let them get away with it. These are the ones that that hide the files, that corrupt the files, that you need to put some of these really dangerous, evil people away.
Never underestimate someone who is good at Excel and organizing things. Yeah. Including you for a whole film festival, for crying out loud.
I feel like I missed my calling. I could have been a Cosmo in another life.
you probably could have. It's not about the money. It's about who organizes the Excel sheet. I think that's right. The original dialogue.
That was the original dialogue at the end. It did play very well.
No, but it does, like I've been hinting at. It foreshadows just. Yeah, big data and the weaponization of information, and just how it's used to do these types of things and very easily nowadays, including I don't know what. I don't want to get too political and certainly go on and on about what our current president is hyper fixated on in terms of the voting system, but
look at that design in the background there. It's like it's very Cloak and Dagger. It's it's
very
like a
much
spy,
so.
Character with holding a briefcase.
Yeah, and like having to have this conversation in this sequestered room by right in front of these giant supercomputers.
Yeah,
glowing red like that. Yeah,
it's like part War Games, part Tron. It's part the robot black hole Maximilian. It's a lot of it's a lot of exposition going on here, but fascinating to watch these two actors play it and to sort of rediscover their friendship a little bit, but Redford recognizing that his friend has been corrupted.
Yeah,
and that maybe it's an interesting play too, that like he's seen the downside to what he was maybe doing back in the day, that the idealism that he had and the changes that he wanted to make, that maybe there is a downside to some of it, which is not that he doesn't do some of it at the end of this movie, but to use that power, to go against the government, but then to use that power for other nefarious purposes doesn't make you the good guy.
Right. No, that's a great point for sure. I mean, it's too bad though that like Redford's character is kind of like dismissing him as crazy, because I think that's ultimately what leads him to, Cosmo to decide to do this. And just like, oh man, maybe you should just went with it for a little bit longer. The classic split diopter shot. I love those.
Oh yeah, yeah. This scene reminds me a little bit. This is a weird reference, but it reminds me of Damien Omen 2 in a way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because there's a scene of Damien Omen 2 where Damien, his half brother, like he wants basically to join him. He's basically like join, come with me, and he's not saying join Satan and whatnot, but he's just like I love you, I want you to be with me. And the brother recognizes that he's evil and whatnot, and Damien has to eventually choke him out and kill him with his powers. And here's the same case of where you have these two guys that were thick as thieves. They were brothers basically, and he tries to get him to come along with his scheme. And when he recognizes that he's not going to do it, there's Mr. Busfield with the slick back hair.
Yeah.
What a kiss ass. I mean, that's some Trump like behavior right there.
Kidding.
That is But yeah, that Cosmo recognizes that he's not going to come with them. So like, oh, that's okay. Well, I gave you your shot. Now I'm sending you to jail. Or at least I'm putting you in a position where you're going to be on the run again for the rest of your life. And
yeah. You can tell that San Francisco and the streets where Bullet was filmed. You can always tell the way, those hills are, man. They're so steep.
Yeah.
And this is where we get our first glimpse into her place. It's clear that she's doing pretty well for herself. Maybe that's why at the end she decides she doesn't need anything. It's like she's doing pretty good.
It's a nice little screenwriting technique to have them do each other's dialogue, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie definitely holds up better than something like The Net or Hackers.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
In terms of, like just the technology part of it. And I mean, a lot of people can harp on that sort of thing, like we did with Gold Star or something, but it's still grounded enough. And like a moment like this is very tender and sweet, and to where you care about these people.
And also, this is just confirming the fact that it'll be a great film for the Friendship Dilemma, because clearly they just hung here. So I must have put it on the list. Or do they kiss? Do they kiss here?
I don't
close. I don't think they do.
I don't even remember her giving him a peck on the cheek at all in this movie.
No.
There you go. Now you got a podcast episode to plan.
Yeah, so that's a whole.
I'd like to hear Morgan's take, and certainly like speculate like what was their prior connection like. You know, I think that's one thing that Sharon brought up too is like it's all in the present, which doesn't bother me. Like we don't need a flashback other than the opening, you know, to learn about every little thing that's happened to them in their lives. But maybe she wanted a little bit more character development.
Well, it's always great when you don't have all that stuff spelled out for you entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really important necessarily to the plotting, what their relationship is, but you can, through the performances and through little, hints and gazes and things like that, you can draw your own backstory. To them. Clearly, they were involved at some point. How much she had to do with the, him and the hacking and whatever he was doing at the time is another story. She might have had nothing to do with it. They might have just been a couple. Maybe that's what led to them being apart. But they've clearly been, friendly, and this is great.
Oh, yeah.
Destroyed her apartment here.
This is pretty much when I have to, take my podcast recording equipment to another location. Just have to set it up all over somebody's room.
and here's exactly what I was referring to earlier. That now we're 70 minutes into this movie, and this movie's about to go to a whole other level. All these scenes one after another.
Even the camera work changed. Like it's handheld now to create a little bit more suspense and tension.
Yeah. It develops itself as a thriller. I mean, this is a wonderfully suspenseful scene. Just watching, a phone call being traced, which we've seen countless times before. The cliches of, you only have so much time before you got to hang up on the phone and whatnot. And Whistler sets it up beautifully. Like I bounced this thing off of like 97 satellites and everything. So
it'll be the hardest trace. Yeah.
And then you see how quickly they do it, and it's just like, oh no.
Give me research. It's an emergency.
And then we had that exact same phone. So as a kid, I totally nerded out. I was like, oh, they're using their phone. Smart thinking on his part.
For laughs. Not played for laughs. It's a boom. Here we go. The ticking clock begins.
It's my dime. I'll ask the questions. Who are you?
And you know everybody's part. You know exactly what they're doing. I mean, it is explained to you, of course, but still, I think it's just cutting the way they do throughout this whole sequence is beautifully done, beautifully edited.
Yeah. And so much so that, like, I don't even know how many people recognize who the other voice is on that phone initially.
I don't think I did the first time. Yeah.
I didn't. I know I certainly didn't.
Can you deal? Transcom, you've got about 20 seconds, Bishop. If I come in with what I know, can you guarantee my safety? Do you have the item?
A little spoiler here. I mean, I assume people have seen this
Oh
movie.
yeah,
watched it. So obviously the voice on the other end is James Earl Jones, and if you've seen The Sting as well,
that's right.
Redford's partner in the movie, who was killed early in the film, is played by Robert Earl Jones, who is James's father.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Just like me watching Mate One and going, oh my God, James Earl Jones. Oh my God, Mary McDonnell. Oh my God, David Strathairn. Everybody was in that movie.
This was developed as Mate One too, actually.
No, and like his character, Bernard Abbott, was named after Robert Abbott, who was a technical consultant on the film, who, just happened to be about the same age and complexion, and was very instrumental in creating one of the first time-sharing computer systems. So, they did their homework. And maybe that's also why it took so long, too, to complete the script. They took their time with it and wanted to make sure everything was, right before
so
like,
here
sending
you have,
it out.
Yeah, and so here you have, like, Whistler again now taking this to another level, to take us back to where we were just about 20 minutes ago in Martin's journey in that car, and him trying to pinpoint what he had heard and using those sounds as the basis to figure out exactly, to basically retrace the steps in a way with as a blind man, basically. not knowing where he could have been at any given time. So this is a good time to talk a little bit about the character of Whistler. He was based on two guys. One of them named Joseph Ingracia, and another named John Draper. And John Draper is going to get some shout outs here a couple times, and one actually already, because his nickname was Captain Crunch. And the reason he was named Captain Crunch is because he figured out that the toy whistle that could be found as a toy in some of the Captain Crunch cereal boxes, it was the perfect tone, perfect pitch that computers and phones would use to make long distance calls.
That's right. Yes.
So if you were able to utilize the toy whistle and you did it 3 times and you pressed 3, you could make free phone calls. And John Draper, when it was eventually discovered that he did that, he went to jail for it. And in jail, he was introduced to the mafia, and they threatened him if he didn't put together their information. So hence that's where the backstory for Cosmo comes in.
Wow.
And the other guy, that's Joseph Ingracia, his nickname was Joy Bubbles. And there is a documentary that was just premiered at Sundance this year called Joy Bubbles. That's all about his life and what the hacking, what he was ultimately. I don't remember if he was thrown in jail or not, but what he was accused of was something very along the lines of what the Captain Crunch guy had done.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see that document. I don't it's never been something like, geez, I wish I could invest time and energy in figuring out how all this is done myself. But I am fascinated by, everything that has to do with hacking, and the fact that people have gotten away with it or have done it for reasons that are similar to what the sneakers ultimately do at the end of the movie.
And you think of to go back to what you were saying earlier about the way that we make sort of like joke around, can make fun of movies like The Net and Hackers, because those movies, along with being a product of the time and all that kind of stuff, they were so they're like the arrogance of those movies is just like, we're going to show the audience something that they don't even know, something that they don't even aware of this stuff that's happening. Sneakers is not like that. Sneakers is a technological based movie, but it's not like we're going to show you things that you don't know what's going on. This isn't like a sign of the times. This movie's about characters. It's not about the tech. The tech is all MacGuffin stuff.
I think that's what's the most surprising to me is, like, going back to it too, is like I mentioned, is that a lot of the things that they're able to get away with is sleight of hand or misdirection, or in the case of, we're going to see them with the gardener outfits. Like, it's not about hacking into some complex computer system. It's about like doing things practically or pragmatically, or just by being human. It's social engineering in a way.
And here we're not quite sure what they're doing. I mean, they're listening again. They're spying and listening, so they're using both senses here. And we're not quite sure exactly what this has to do with their plan. And when we discover that, just like, well, that's ingenious.
Yeah, again, it pays off. It's all set up to something else that eventually we learn more about. It's not just there to add something to the running time. I think that's what makes this a really special screenplay and story, is that everything is connected and means something.
Yeah.
And this is I just love this stuff too. The time-lapse photography, and then figuring out who's there.
The lights on all night, so we have to assume the sensors are on too. It won't be easy getting in there.
Okay, run this on ahead and let's figure out who works next door.
It's fascinating.
And another thing I kept coming across too is that, like, River Phoenix isn't given a whole lot to do, but hey, he got these blueprints. Come on, and he jumps from the ceiling and saves the day.
He got the blueprints. Yeah, well, he's part of a lot of the he's there as a misdirect guy. I mean, he does it earlier with the not the balloons, but the liquid Drano that you mentioned to get Redford in there.
No.
A little joke, Mom, it's not a good time to come over.
Yeah.
And then
while
again,
holding
here,
a bag of
setting
tomatoes
this up.
too.
Yeah, right. Here, setting up this
NSA uses the same
the
technology
security
to
system.
pull out of restricted
Yep. Amazing that they can just replicate it that well. But look, they just got it from
Think how
Radio Shack or something.
Yeah, how much is set up here? That they set up the voice print thing. They set up the motion sensor. How are they going to overcome all this?
Yeah.
And it's very practical stuff too. I mean, I always hate heist movies where they have large scale equipment that always seem like those pieces of equipment are only good for heists. Like, I don't even know like the practical uses of some of the devices that some heist movies come up with. But here it's like it's a very practical solution. Like they have motion sensors. We got to get around that. It's a voice print thing. We got to figure out how to do that. This is 4 years before they do Mission Impossible for the first time with Tom Cruise, and they do similar things like that in there, where they have to find a way to get into the code room at the records room at the CIA in Langley.
Yeah, and in the pilot episode of The Lone Gunman that I brought up earlier, literal homage to Mission Impossible, but before Mission Impossible even came out, is him dropping down from the ceiling via wire and like having to get something from a computer. And I'm just like, it's so weird how all this ties together somehow.
Yeah.
I should just get this as my license plate and see if anybody gets the reference.
180 IQ.
Yeah.
That's a very arrogant
yeah, it sure
license plate
is.
to get. Cute.
Carl, let's do this guy. His name, Werner Brandis.
And little do we know, setting up pure comic relief here.
I know.
Werner Brandis.
He leaves work between 6 and 7 every night.
Which I think here we're introducing the great Stephen Tobolowsky, who has been doing movies for several years at this time. This is pre Groundhog Day. This is more than a few months before Groundhog Day comes up, and that everyone will know him for the rest of his life, basically. But I would argue that this character is even better than
I would agree. I think he's even funnier here.
Yeah.
And he does some improvisation later in the film.
Right.
Oh, great. Now he gets thrown. This is protocol.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liz.
And if you look really quickly, you'll see a Tombstone single as a hint. Singles. He's single.
Well, there's a couple.
And we find out why.
Things,
how?
There's a couple little Easter eggs here in the trash to
Captain Crunch,
to.
right?
There's a Captain Crunch box that obviously a reference to the Whistler inspiration that I referred to. But also, if you look at Aykroyd's T-shirt here, you'll see at one point he's wearing the T-shirt of River Phoenix's band.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the name of it. It begins with an A, but yeah.
Another lovely piece of writing here is they're trying to figure out how to get this guy a date, and they know all these people in the past that they've worked with, and one of them's married, and one of them married a cop. and I love River Phoenix's that delivery is great because you can see she's buff, and you could tell that he probably hit on her at some point and was probably rejected.
He's looking for someone meticulous, refined.
Adel.
I love this. Yep, everybody looks, including Whistler.
So we've had references to Head, Seaman, and Adel in this movie. Just pointed that out.
Oh my god. This is a dirtier movie than I realized until you brought it up.
PG-13. That's right.
Also,
Werner Brandis is about to make, in a little while, make reference to pounding breasts.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was improvised, but
it actually was improvised.
Oh, nice.
Because Tobolowsky, here's the great Stephen Tobolowsky here. Master storyteller, fantastic character actor. And Phil Alden Robinson basically gave him one piece of direction. It's like, just try to make her laugh.
That's a great piece of direction. That's all you need.
Yeah.
No, when I first talked to him after the passing of Harold Ramis, I was just like, it's kind of amazing to think Groundhog Day, Sneakers, Memento. Just like those, being in those 3 movies alone, just is something remarkable to come across those scripts and to be in them and to have such distinctive and different types of characters in all 3 that you don't forget, really. You don't forget Sammy Jenkins, and you don't forget Ned Ryerson, and you don't forget Werner Brandis.
Yeah. Werner Brandis, terrible date, by the way.
Yes.
Immediately,
never end a date with phone you or nudge you. Don't end a date like that.
I don't care how the date goes. That's not a great thing. But also, like, he immediately goes up, gets his food, and starts eating it before she's like they barely even had been introduced.
Yeah, at least sit down and get to know each other for a little bit. Then
have
a
drink, take a moment, go up to get your food together. There's a reason why this guy is single. Big guys with guns.
You'll probably do Since when am I the one? The same model answering machine that Janik used for the shell of his box. Now that's what you'll be carrying across the floor at 2 inches per second. I got that for you because I figured you'd
This is a very Raymond Spangler kind of delivery of dialogue here throughout this. Oh boy. Anytime you meet Stephen Tobolowsky, just go up to him and be like, "Can you please say my favorite word?"
I know.
I'm sure he doesn't get that at all.
No. I love this guy basically yells at him like, "Get out!
Get out of here! What are you waiting for?"
And he just looks at him. He clearly doesn't understand anything he just said. He just kind of gives him this look.
Oh, talk to me. You know what?
And what a fun date this must have been to have to be there that long until closing time, man.
I always thought it was kind of
and of course, Kingsley puts the button on this entire, setup when he goes, "Wait, a computer matched her with him?" I don't think so.
Yeah.
And never
nowadays,
probably more.
I don't know. It depends on if you swipe left or swipe right. I don't know.
But watch Mary's delivery of this line here.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
This is just great. Come on.
Yeah, come on. I mean, like, geez, you'll never hear the word passport the same way again.
Nope.
When you hear her deliver it.
You'll hear it in one of 2 ways. You'll either hear it in her voice or you'll hear it in Werner's.
Yes.
And you hear it in Mary's tone. Oh, boy.
That's a little icky.
Own you or nudge you?
Check, please.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Props for confidence, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. But,
Hi, my name is Werner Brandis.
That must have been fun to edit together. This is before
Great.
Audacity.
I was just saying, a little old school, like Columbia College editing there. This came out even before Columbia College for me, but I remember, editing actual film like that and sound stuff, and it's
with the razor blade and everything.
With the razor blade and the little editing kits and everything.
I thought they already left. I guess not.
Here we go, more distraction.
Again, a Halloween costume. I'm always like, I could dress up like this, but nobody would know what the hell I'm dressed up as. Only I would know.
It feels like that should be a Spirit Halloween costume.
Yeah, it should be.
Random gardener or something like that.
It's always fun to walk up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
You never
one battle after another. Key scene in a stall.
That's true. Yeah.
River Phoenix not quite as lucky as Sean Penn was in that scene, but
to say the least. Was that a gender-neutral restroom? It looked like it had both I guess it must be.
It might have been.
Oh, weird.
This movie's very progressive. No, it's just male.
Okay. It's weird. Like, I saw the door and it had both on them at one point. Oh, wait. See? There's that there. That's... Maybe that just means men or women can go into that room at any given time. Okay. This is really good timing on their part to get this all...
Yeah.
And now he just knows, like, oh, I can leave? Okay. Again, things like you can critique and just, but why? Why? Just go with it. Have a good time.
Yeah. and that's clearly, I mean, obviously that's part of their plan. They recognize that they know someone's not going to come out of that bathroom. He gets to do a little Die Hard here himself. So River Phoenix gets to do plenty of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the expectations of, coming off of something like My Own Private Idaho. Maybe they want him to do more, but it's an ensemble piece, It's a lot. It gives everybody a moment, I'd say. Oh boy, here he is pounding breasts.
That's right.
I'll join you as soon as I'm through pounding these breasts.
Ad-lib. Yeah. This guy is not subtle.
No, not at all.
Fabulous. It only has 400 calories.
Only 400 calories.
Wow. He really does care about what he eats, yeah.
Yeah, and like going back, I just remember like opening night, watching this movie. We were already, somewhat pressed, at least I was, that couldn't get to see the comedian. And here, like, Tobolowsky is delivering laughs per second. Everything he says. The ideal diet is the bottom of a monkey cage. Like, what does that even mean, right? Like, what is he referring to?
Well, he's multi-talented. I mean, he co-wrote True Stories, right? The David Byrne movie. Yeah. He's done a lot in his life.
Yeah.
And he's one hell of a storyteller. Like one of the all-time greats.
Yep, absolutely.
If there was a TV series where it was just him telling stories, like Stephen Tobolowsky's Birthday Party as a series, I would watch it all the time.
100%. 100%. Just every week he just comes and he tells like a great showbiz story or a story in his life. He has on like maybe a celebrity from someone he's worked with before. They share horror stories or great stories.
Yeah,
that seems like okay. That's copyright.
Yeah, pitch it.
Yeah.
So Redford's definitely been in other spy movies, like literally Spy Game. Down the road.
Spy Game, 3 Days of the Condor. Obviously, he was the Hot Rock.
That's right. That's a good one.
Movie.
Yeah.
And this, Redford's like involvement with this. Like, this is a period in Redford's career where he was not exactly. Everyone knows who Redford is, obviously, but as far as like a box office draw at the time, he was not living the high life. This is 6 years. Legal Eagles was 6 years earlier, which was kind of a notorious bomb that summer. Just 2 years prior to this, he was in Havana, the Sidney Pollack movie, which was a gigantic bomb. And the only reason that movie was not the biggest bomb of 1990 is because 8 days later, the Bonfire of the Vanities opened.
Wow. Yeah.
So Redford was not exactly, not that he wasn't, persona non grata in Hollywood and whatnot, but he wasn't exactly considered a box office draw.
Busy directing more than acting.
That too, certainly. Blogger Beanfield War, not exactly a gigantic hit. His first, directorial effort since winning the Oscar for Ordinary People. But I guess an agent had come up to Phil Alden Robinson because he was attached to do this movie, and said they were trying to get Robert Redford to be in it. And Robinson was completely interested in it, but he didn't want to send it to Redford because he thought it might be something that he felt was beneath him.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And then, but apparently the agent said, "Sorry, I already sent it to him," and Redford wanted to be in it.
Well, I think originally Alden Robinson, because he had a good experience with Costner, thought he would be good for the lead.
I mean, and you could see that at this period, you could see Costner like fitting into a movie like this, but it would not have been, obviously would not have been the same. And not that Costner hasn't been funny and given great comic performances in this movie. I think what Redford brings to this movie, not just obviously the light touches and the gravitas that from the movies that clearly this movie has some associative tissue with, but he also he said when they were talking about doing this movie together, he told Robinson that as a kid he was obsessed with breaking into things.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh.
he said he told a story about how when he was in high school, he used to sneak in with friends to the Fox Theater Tower, and apparently there were like these big lights on the outside of the theater that spelled out FOX. Well, they figured out apparently how to turn off the top of the lights to the O, and well, that spelled FUX. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that it reminds me of the joke in Life's Too Short with Liam Neeson, where he said that he got cast as Oscar Schindler because he loved making lists, which is one of my favorite jokes of all time.
Yeah.
But just the idea that Redford would want to do this movie because he just liked breaking into things, that's wonderful. That's fantastic.
You always wonder, like, what draws an actor to a role, and something like that is just not something you'd think of.
Right, exactly.
But that's funny.
Here's again another unexpected little great joke throwaway. Come on, I mean,
yeah.
What child wants that toy?
I designed the voice recognition chip.
I mean, it's a voice recognition chip, so it does other things. But the fact that he would actually program it to play dead is just come on. And again, a little bit of foreshadowing because you don't expect it to do this.
Right.
It's a setup for this reveal here.
Yeah, and then you get to see a creepy Tobolowsky in a minute. Where you're like, ooh.
Well, he's already.
Well,
creepy.
yeah, no, that's true,
Yeah.
but more like sinister.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
But if you were him, I mean, again, we're following these, anti-heroes, so to speak, throughout this movie. But if you were him and you were some woman at a dating site, got into your home, and with a, I mean, you would be a little on edge with that. I don't know if I'd react to it this way, like, hey, let's go for a ride and go to my place of business.
Right.
He's all filled in shadow there too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and here's the callback to the Jack Flack thing on the wall here, basically.
Oh yeah,
Cosmo's office.
Totally.
And this is, I mean,
there's cloak and dagger touches throughout. Yeah.
Yeah, this is brilliant. I mean, a heist movie where you have to go as slow as possible.
No, they shot him, but they didn't kill him. He's still alive.
There you go.
That's it. I've had it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. You just
Got to work in the JFK angle.
Oh yeah.
It was the same people who framed Pete Rose.
Oh, you do not want me to start about Pete Rose.
Okay, save that for another commentary. Is there a movie about Pete Rose? I'm surprised.
I don't think there's a movie about Pete Rose, but I have issues with Pete Rose.
Get it? No. Please, forget it. Werner just pulled up. He's got Liz with him. Martin, I think you better hurry.
Now, does Stephen Tobolowsky's character realize what's going on in the office next to him at all? Like, is he aware that basically this toy company is a front, or he's like, I'm working for a legitimate toy company, or does he know?
No, I don't think he knows at all.
Okay.
I think that he thinks he's working for a toy company, and all he knows is that this woman that has misrepresented herself probably stole his ID.
Right. Okay.
Well, he doesn't know that yet. He's going to find this out now that she stole his ID is missing.
Yeah, because I just wonder, like, how much does he know, or how involved as he is with, like, maybe by day, like, Cosmo's just like your regular everyday boss, just like, all right, make sure that dog works, make sure that toy works.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of call into question, because again, he didn't realize his ID was stolen. He just knows that this woman is lying to him, and he immediately makes the leap to something is going down at the office, which would possibly suggest that he does know something is going on, that who he actually works for. But at the same time, I don't think he does. Because he barely even knows who Cosmo seems to be. Cosmo's working late, by the way.
I was gonna say, is he just maybe he lives there?
It makes you think, like, they've been pulling this off the entire time, but Cosmo's been there the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
Breaking into his office. I mean, like, if you were at that building, wouldn't you be in your office? I don't. That's nitpicks, I suppose, but.
And leaving the box kind of out in the open, not secured in like a safe or something. I mean, again.
Yeah.
I'm willing to let all that go. It's fine. It's just sometimes you want to overthink things, but you don't need to in this case.
Right. Yeah, we've seen this 25 times a piece, so we can be forgiven that we're nitpicking it a little bit. But in the moment, again, that's not the kind of things you're thinking about when you're watching this movie for the first time. At least, hopefully, you aren't. Look at the kiss ass over there with his slick hair.
Yeah, right. And how does she get found out? She shouldn't have said what she said.
Gives it away.
Yep.
I love this referred to as a computer date. Never heard it ever referred to as a computer
This isn't
date.
Electric Dreams. We're not actually dating a computer. But...
Even Redford earlier in the movie, when they discover what their ruse is going to be to Werner, he goes, he's a computer dater.
Yeah.
Which makes it sound like he's dating computers. It makes it sound like he's Joaquin Phoenix and her.
Great delivery of a name. Just scream it out. Come on.
With the accent.
Yep. Money! Oh, man. Here come the guards.
Big guys with guns.
Yep.
And here we're in full thriller mode. The guys in the van. The classic trope.
And how will he get out of this? Yeah. Although it makes me wonder, do they need to go through all the trouble with the verify the passport? Couldn't Redford have just done what River Phoenix had did? Just like crawl, get up, go through the bathroom, go, walk or crawl up through the ceiling, through all those viaducts up there and everything, and just like get through that way instead of having to do the voice is my passport approach.
Yeah.
That's a lot of extra work, but maybe I don't know.
I'm in Northeast 3.
And it's such a shame too. Like his friends are trying to help him, but that ultimately gives him away. Coming up here.
Again, all smart stuff. Like you don't think that an earpiece would be enough of a sound thing to give him away.
Yeah.
Say, oh no. Mrs. Wallace?
And this is very dynamite too.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Speaking of fun American accents, when Alan Rickman has to do that.
Yeah.
Oh. We're coming up on one of my favorite moments here. Just this whole sequence is really beautifully done. Like just the close up of him talking on the phone, and then we see all of these exterior shots or the shots of like the building and different perspectives, the stairwell. All this is just having just recently rewatched Backrooms too. It looks a little bit like that. These liminal spaces. And I guess they like cut. I mean, like they edited it very differently to make, or like each hallway had a distinctive reverb. Like they really went all like blowout kind of detail with the way they did the sound editing for that sequence. And like the flickering light in the background. So well shot. So well shot.
Yeah.
And like him getting emotional too. It's just a really nice touch. Like it's easy to just like paint him as a villain, like a stereotypical. I want to, end the world. In a way, he's framing it differently. He's almost framing it like Tyler Durden. Like I want to free people.
Right. No, it is. Yeah, no, his scheme is, it's not so much for, I think I referred to it mistakenly so much as like a financial gain. It's more about just like, it's an FU to the world. I mean, that's what it's all been based upon. And he's not going to let, anyone, like, I mean, in his mind, his friend has been corrupted by the people that he's now trying to take down. Which that's the ultimate sort of like tragedy of this friendship too, is that if these two would figure out a way to sort of meet in the middle, which is sort of like the case of so many things in life, they would have probably realized that they both have the same instincts. They're just going about it. It's classic comic book type stuff that the two friends that want they have different viewpoints of how to change the world. So like, and Redford, I think, kind of acknowledges, again, just a musing little like, "Hey, how you doing?" Well,
Sneakers, the original Avengers, maybe, because
yeah. And like he's prepared for him to betray him, but there's also probably somewhere deep down that he hopes that maybe there's some humanity left in him that he sees.
Yeah, but then he's got those two guys.
His version of Cosmos, yeah.
God damn it! You give me your word.
This is a bit that's been overdone over the years.
Yeah, for sure. But just the way that Kingsley like delivers the lines here, like, and when we get to the roof too, it's just I don't know. This might have been my first Ben Kingsley movie. Now that I think about it.
Really?
I don't. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like 93.
He had a nice little run here. Sneakers, Searching for Bobby Fischer the year after this.
Species.
Species. I like Species.
Yeah, I like it too. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's dumb fun.
Now. Damn right now. Carl, now.
Again.
Yeah, perfect.
Phoenix puts the nice button on this scene too.
Yep.
And she gets in on the action too.
Now,
I mean it. I'm an excellent marksman, woman.
In Ebert's review, he did mention like a glaring flaw of like, how would River Phoenix know exactly where to jump or where to fall to land on that? That's what I thought. I always thought like. Yeah, that Redford is like priming him when he says, "I'm going in. Do you hear me, Carl?"
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's the impetus right there. Is that like, hear where I am, hear my voices, listen. Again, listening becomes such an important thing about this movie. And again, here we go. That it just could very easily be an escape sequence. They're going to get out. The van is out there waiting for them, and then you're going to throw another additional wrinkle in here. And I got a big question about. I'll tell you about this scene here in a second.
Are you going to ask where all the security guards are? Because some people
there's people can ask that if they want, but hey. you're a screenwriter. You have to solve problems sometimes, and
Sure.
Sometimes the answer is simply like, well, there are no security guards.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
here we
they
go.
are.
Okay,
There's a couple of them.
I want everyone to hear this line here for 1 second. Okay, now when I first saw this movie, I was not aware that he was doing a racial slur in that moment. Because there is so much mystery around Kreese through this entire movie, and like there's a moment where Redford says to him, he's like, "What did you do in the CIA?" And he won't tell him. Like he like we all have our secrets, right? I thought that this was some implication that Midnight was his code name.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's maybe that's 17 or 9, because I never heard that used as a slur before.
Right.
I never put it together that that's what he was saying in that. And then again leads to a gag that why Kreese was excommunicated from the CIA.
Yeah.
And at the
That's
same
a good
time,
point.
setting up this joke that the blind guy has to drive the van. Now, is that a Mr. Magoo type gag that is now frowned upon? I don't know, but it's fantastic.
I don't. People don't take that seriously. Just have fun.
Don't.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's a very simple explanation. why he was bounced from the. And it's amazing to me that would get you bounced from the CIA.
Apparently, yeah, but maybe he was that violent towards people. I don't know.
Motherfuckers mess with me, I split your head.
That's okay.
F-bomb.
An F-er. F-bomb.
Yeah.
That's an MFer F-bomb that is implicating sex, which is supposed to be the no-no when using the F-bomb in PG-13 movies. So maybe the MPA was having too much fun with this to give it an R rating.
They overlooked it. They're like, oh, we want more people to see this, including teenagers. So
yeah, we want to set up the next generation of sneakers.
Aw. You don't want to think about a legacy sequel, do you? Is it all the sons or
the sons? Well, that sets up a whole
all these
question of who you're going to cast, and do you have?
Oh, jeez.
Redford's gone, which I don't think you could do a legacy sequel. I mean, they have the moment where there'd be a picture of Redford in somebody's office or something like that, his dad or something like that. But you can still have Aykroyd. Point A's gone. Obviously, River Phoenix is gone. But yeah, we've lost way too many sneakers.
I know. It's sad. Yeah. Well, let's just hope that any movie we do a commentary track for, there isn't a legacy sequel, because, again, like as much as I would like to know what happened to, Alex and The Last Starfighter when they went up there together, I don't know if it would play well today. I don't know if I need that. I don't know if I need the son of The Last Starfighter. Just let it be.
I think I'll stop right here.
Great stuff.
I know. Though you can see this becoming, that's essentially what The Lone Gunman was. I mean, a series, I don't want to say remaking this, because we don't want another Cape Fear, which is just...
Not that TV series.
No.
Oh, Lord.
It is a train wreck. I'm watching it. I'm like hate watching it.
That's a whole other podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
again, this is a wonderfully written scene too.
It is. It is beautifully done.
I will kill you right now.
Give me the box right now, or I'll kill you right now.
Yeah.
No.
And they sort of act like children in this scene, like they're playing on the playground or something.
I missed on purpose. Take the goddamn thing. I don't want it. You win, I lose. That's what you want, isn't it?
The music's wonderful here too.
Yeah.
It's emphasizing there's a tragedy between these two guys that were the closest of friends.
I'm sorry, guys. Could have shared this with you. I know, could have had the power. I don't want it. Don't you know the places we can go with this? Yeah, I do.
Nobody there.
Oh, Kaz, just wait until AI comes along, then you'll have everything you need.
Yeah.
The ones and zeros, the bits of data.
That's
It's
such a
all
great
just
line. There's nobody
electronics.
there
I don't care.
where you want to go with this.
I don't expect other people to understand this.
And I
but
think that's
expect
why
you to understand
Cosmo really wants his friend.
together.
Because
Yeah,
he knows he's all alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a prank.
But again, like they have different ideals or they see it very differently. And that's kind of what undoes their friendship entirely.
That's also the idea that recognizing that they were young and stupid and whatnot. And it's not that the things they were doing weren't going to change the world. They were just fucking with people. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
Which they will do again at the end of the film a little bit. But in a great way.
For sure. In a way that, I don't know, if I came across this chip, I would hope to do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to stop me, you'll have to pull the trigger. You.
Although I wonder, do they still get all the things that they asked for, even if the box doesn't work? You know, I mean, does the NSA be
question.
like?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be some sort of proof of delivery on this.
Yeah,
and this is like Cosmo. I mean, you have to assume here too that like Cosmo just stops going after them. Like even he doesn't
true.
have the box, right? That he's.
Yeah, I'm surprised they go back to their loft or their secret hideout after all this because, man, why isn't the two henchmen waiting for them there at this point?
Right.
Well, the movie's got to end eventually, so.
Yes. Yeah.
Right above a movie theater. I didn't realize that until just now. Looks like a movie theater.
Actually made it back.
Can't believe that we pulled off the greatest sneak in history and we can't tell anybody about it.
You know what I can't
Wasn't this the same location as Jurassic Park or something? I read maybe that was one of the trivia things that I came across. Like this location was
I don't know if I saw that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I misread that.
National Security Agency. We spoke on the phone. I believe you have something that belongs to me.
It's interesting, don't you think, you guys? That the NSA is here? The FBI was supposed to do this kind of thing.
Absolutely. This is outside the NSA's jurisdiction.
Man, these guys are just so smart. They can just talk their way through anything.
I keep thinking about something.
This is 9 years before the Patriot Act, too.
Said that our code
Yeah, good call.
Here we go.
Russian. So this box really wouldn't work on them. The only thing it'd really be good for is spying on Americans.
Bingo.
Well, sure, with a box like that, they could read the FBI's mail.
Or the CIA's. Or the White House.
And this whole sequence here, folks, was not even originally... Like, this movie probably could have been, 5 to 10 minutes shorter if it weren't for this payoff.
I thought the only thing that they added was the television bit at the end.
Well, I think originally it was going to end with them throwing the chip into the river and just being like, that
was the original ending. That was originally screened for Universal, and they just felt it was too boring. Which, weirdly enough, it's almost kind of when you read about it. I don't know if it's ever been seen, but if you read about it, it kind of sounds like the end of Ocean's 11, where all of them, sort of gather there. They all kind of walk off one by one.
Yeah.
But I think this scene is too good for it not to have been in there because they set it up earlier with all the things that they want.
I think that the original ending was them doing that and walking off, but then one of the producers or somebody involved said, "Oh no, you do have to have a payoff with all of them getting something out of this whole experience," and having a little bit of an uplift, and not just like, "All right, we got the box, throw the chip away, everything's fine." No, you should have this of everybody getting something out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But you're right, though, in that the final moment, the very final moment, was kind of just like this thing they did, like very quickly, where they had like one of the news anchors just like literally FedEx them a videotape of them saying, "Oh, they did stuff with the box on top of everything else, or with the chip."
This is fantastic. River Phoenix's request here is fantastic, and all of them just enjoyed how ridiculous it is. But
yeah, the other agents laughing. That's
other agents laughing, and she's talking about chaperoning. And
yeah,
this is the payoff.
And she's still pointing the gun at him.
Yeah, all you want is my phone number.
Understandable. I mean, especially if you're lonely and you're single. But
Incredible.
you know, you're also
Absolutely
River Phoenix.
incredible.
You're gonna have no problems finding somebody. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Earl Jones. Also
yeah,
fantastic. Again, doesn't go up to him because he moved.
yep.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
And here we go.
Peace on earth and goodwill toward men.
We are the United States government. We don't do that for faith.
Perfect.
You have to try.
Okay, we'll try.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
That's all I ask.
That's all I ask.
Sadly, they did not follow through on that promise. We're
Yeah.
still struggling to this day. Things are kind of getting worse. I don't want to be too pessimistic for the future of this country, but right now, looking bleak. So
Yeah.
no peace on earth and goodwill towards men at this particular moment. But
You know it doesn't work. It never did.
That's not important, is it? What's really important is that none of this ever happened. This box doesn't exist.
I never saw it before.
Remember that.
And I was never here. Little Hot for October almost callback there.
Yes.
Yep.
Bishop.
And that's a smart choice. You don't need them throwing the chip away.
Right.
You know,
I completely agree with that. I think this is
the right call right here. There
it is, and it ties into the beginning because that's exactly what they were doing.
And here you go.
It's a good payoff, really.
The Republican National Committee is bankrupt.
Why can't we hear that right now?
Fantastic. We don't know where we had so much money there yesterday. We don't know where it is.
Oh, Sneakers, where are you with that chip right this moment? We need you.
I mean, seriously, they took the money away from Republicans and gave it to charity and good causes. Like that's how you
goodwill
change the
towards
world,
men.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
That is how you create goodwill towards men. You take away the Republicans' money and you give it to good causes. That's how you do it.
Exactly. I don't know. We got to get a hold of this chip, Eric. You and we can start our own Sneakers team with all the film critics.
I don't think we have the technical know-how to hide.
Yeah.
I think we would be caught quicker than that trace scene happens.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
But what a joyful movie. I don't know. It just puts me in the good spirit, good mood. Like, yeah, it's one of those, if I'm in a shitty mood and I just want to feel good, put this on.
It absolutely does. It's just when they talk about crowd pleasers,
yes.
It's overutilized. This is absolutely what that is. I mean, it's a classic, team story. It's a heist movie. It's a comedy. It's got real world intrigue, and it's ingenious in the way that it ties all these things together, and does so in a very nifty 2 hours as well. I mean, there's really very little fat on this movie.
I know. It's just amazing to me how it plays today. Like I understand like pointing out some dated elements, but at the same time, I don't feel that way watching it. I feel like it's grounded and you care about everybody, and at the same time, it's just a good old fashioned escapist entertainment that works on every level, and I'm just so glad it exists. More people need to seek this out if they haven't, and if obviously if you listen to this whole commentary track, I'm assuming you love it as much as we do. But at the same time, I hate to end on this note because it is a cliche, but I think it's apt. They don't make them like this anymore, and I want more movies like this. I really do.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. I mean, there
because
yes,
wasn't there
there's
like this
another.
was there even just recently on Apple TV like a Ben Affleck Matt Damon heist or like there's not
Well, there's a much different tone than
okay
this movie called the Rip. That's more of a
right
cop thriller than like a heist movie.
yeah I just don't get
And it's a
this
good one. It's a good one.
yeah
I mean,
okay
I like teen movies. I really enjoy teen movies, especially when you get cat. I mean, they are making another Ocean's movie. It's going to be a prequel
mm,
with Bradley
mm.
Cooper and Margot Robbie. I mean, that could be
Okay
fun. I wasn't a
yeah
fan of Ocean's 8, but I liked like only a couple of the Ocean's movies at least.
yeah
Uh, but yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies that you sort of lament that you don't want to see a remake or a reboot kind of thing, but you kind of lament that you never got a sequel to. Like, this is one of
mm-hmm
those movies that you really, you could have put them on a new adventure, but then at the same time, you go like, it's such kind of a perfectly contained movie that it just a sequel might have ruined it. It might not have been as strong as this one. It would have tainted its legacy a little bit. It's just this perfect, you know, 2 hour concoction that you could go in and it really is like a warm bath every time you watch it.
yeah it really is and that's I think I'm just hoping, like I said earlier, that maybe the films that we do commentary tracks for, they won't try to do a legacy sequel or a remake of any kind.
Yeah.
I think they're just good as they are. And again, this is a really personal film just because of my experience watching it with my dad and kind of enjoying it. Like he was so huge into technology and kind of nerdy, and it was also a part of his job working at the telephone company as an engineer, so he kind of kept up with the latest tech and all that stuff. So it makes sense why him and I both enjoyed this movie the way we did. And who knew, like months after this, Groundhog Day would come out, and that was another movie that we just instantly bonded over and loved. So that's why we both. That's one thing I brought up to Tobolowski. Is like, I'm so grateful to have had such positive experiences with two movies that he's been in that also involved my dad. So anytime I watch either one, I feel like a warm feeling inside. So
yeah, not to end this on a sour note, you'll have to come up with a way to counteract this, if you will. But I mean, Universal, we said that they don't make movies like this anymore. Universal made a pretty big franchise out of a gigantic team. I think 12. We're going to be going on 12 movies at this point. That it emphasizes the brawn as opposed to the brains. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh God!
Fast and the Furious, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, that's maybe that's just sort of like the sign of the changing times, the manosphere and whatnot.
Yeah.
That we ended up with movies like that as opposed to like even a movie like the A-Team, which I fully back.
Oh, they're gonna make another one, aren't they? They're gonna make another one of those. I think so.
If that's the truth, you've made my day. I haven't heard this rumor, but I would love.
Every once in a while, even though sometimes I cringe going to the World of Real website because I don't know.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
I know, and then I read comments. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? But I think that's where I saw the news on that. And Bradley Cooper might be involved.
Well, yeah, it's been 16 years right now without even a green light, so I don't think that's going to happen. That was a movie that didn't do particularly well at the time, and yet I on another podcast, on the Scott Weinberg's Overhated podcast, where we talked about the A-Team, I basically said like that was pre. I mean, it was already in the middle of Fast and Furious, but it was the moment in between where the Fast and Furious became something different. It was right before Fast 5, if I recall, and the first 4 Fast and Furious movies are much different than what those movies became after Fast 5. So and I think the A-Team was partly responsible for that.
Yeah. Oh, this was so much fun, Eric. Really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk about a film that we both love. And
absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, we'll do it again for sure. Please tell everybody where they can find all of your amazing work.
Yeah, the Movie Badness podcast that's available twice a week. You check that out at the Substack page or at the Now Play Network. Also, the Friendship Dilemma that we've referenced a few times with Morgan Geyer, as we talk about male and female friendships and how they are portrayed in the movies. And maybe Sneakers will now become an upcoming film on that podcast. I think it will at some point. Yeah, and I've read a box office column for Rotten Tomatoes, and if you're in the Elk Grove Village area, the Critics Classic series is every other week, and we put a classic movie on the big screen and do a discussion, very much like this.
Yes.
I did Sneakers there just a year ago, and people really enjoyed it.
As well they should, and I'm sure like people who hadn't seen it for the first time were delighted by it.
Yes.
So.
Very
As well
so.
they should be. Yeah, and everybody, Directors Club will definitely be returning on a monthly basis, especially as of August, which I'm very excited about because I've recruited Phil Escove of the podcast Like It's the 2000s podcast that I really enjoy quite a bit. And he's going to be on alongside my dear friend Kate Blair to talk about Nicole Holofcener and talk about a director that will be, kind of a nice, I don't want to say, light way to return to the official round of directors and the monthly tradition. It's just going to be, a joy to revisit the majority of her filmography just because her movies really are consistent and enjoyable and
it's
delightful rom-coms.
It'd be a great run. Yeah, it's a great run. I think I've said before, I don't think she's made a bad movie.
Exactly. That's why I was like, This is a great pick. There's going to be a lot to talk about. She's done a lot of great interviews. There's a lot to say about her work. And other than just like, it's just like a female Woody Allen, I wouldn't ever say that. No. That's terrible. That's very reductive. So there's going to be a lot to say about that particular director come August. So I'm glad to have taken some time to recharge my batteries and get things where they should be mentally, physically, everything I need to get done. And this is a nice treat to have Erik do a commentary track for me. And I'm glad that I'm still keeping on. Thanks everybody for listening, and thanks so much to Erik for joining me for this episode on Sneakers. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.